Welcome to the Lindsay and Tony podcast, where we talk about spirituality, business, and life experiences.
In this podcast, we're bringing our private conversations to you.
We believe that it's through discussion, action, and reflection that true change occurs. Welcome to episode 121, What to Do When You're Feeling Lost. This has actually been the common pulse in our world today, whether it's been through clients or friends. A lot of people are rethinking their path, and it's actually a great place to be. We're going to talk about personal experiences on how you can go from feeling lost to feeling like you're following your passion. We're so excited for you to listen to this episode. We can't wait for you to hear the tips and tricks on how to get there. Hi guys, welcome back. We're so excited that you're here. Today's episode is all about what to do when you're lost. And we thought this was a great theme because we've been finding a common pulse with the world right now and what people are thinking when it comes to our clients and other people that we've been working with and speaking with.
Right, so we deal with so many clients to where they come to us and they feel lost either in their relationships or their career or some part of their life. And when it comes down to it, when we ask them the questions, they already know what they want. And that's what I find out over and over and over again. So they're not really lost. They know exactly what they want. I think two problems come up during this. It's what are they not wanting to deal with? So what kind of pain in their life, and most of the time it's in relationships, that they're not wanting to deal with. And then the other problem was
one of the things that we spoke about before was they're afraid that it's going to be the wrong answer, or they think that it's so far away. They know in their mind what they want to do, but they're thinking, oh, I'm going to do that later, but what am I doing now? I feel lost right now, but I know that's later down the road. And sometimes we think things are so far down the road that we miss the opportunity to take the journey in the moment and forget about the small steps. So we're going to get into that.
It goes back to the paradox, slow down to speed up. So this morning I was listening to a training, and my mentor talked about how when he went to drive a Lamborghini, the instructor told him, okay, when you guys are driving this Lamborghini, you have to go slow to go smooth, and go smooth to go fast. So I want you to think about that in your life. I want you to think about how can you start off slow? What is the smallest step that you can take to actually start making progress towards that vision that you already have clear in your mind?
Love that. And it reminds me of cooking. And one of my online mentors when it comes to food is Danette May. And she speaks about gathering healthy ingredients. Same with Natalia, our friend Natalia, and one of an amazing chef too that she does our retreats. You have to get natural ingredients and start getting the ideas down. What are you craving? You know, Natalia wrote the book Craving Boss. What is your body craving? And then using those ingredients in whatever you're going to make. So when it comes to Danette's recipes, I will think about what am I craving right now, get the ingredients together, figure out what's in the house, and then start with the next step. So I think it kind of comes back to food too. You have to start small and then build up to make the meals.
When you do feel lost, realize right now that it's actually a great thing that you're feeling lost. I know that's another paradox, but when I go back to my life, when I think about my life, all of the times that I felt lost in my life, the next turning point, the next shift in my life just so happened to occur right after that. Mm-hmm. So it makes me think about when I was 19 and I started a lawn care business, and 6 months into the first time that was the first time I started a lawn care business. 6 months into it, everything started to come down on me. I started to feel so lost. I started to feel like, wait, is this what I really want to be doing for the next 5 years? Because at the same time, I was going part-time in college and taking classes there, and I was really trying to find myself. And what happened was, through asking those questions, through going through that pain, through dealing with that question that I talked about at the beginning of this, what pain are you trying to avoid? Through dealing with all of that, I actually figured out, wait, no, it's time for me to move away And that's when I went to school in Columbia, Missouri, at Columbia College, which was one of the biggest and most valuable decisions that I've made in my life up to this point.
That's a perfect example. And it reminds me of when I started mediumship. I was teaching the 3rd grade. I thought that I was going to retire as a teacher, but then there was a huge shift in my life. Most of you guys know the story of Nick passing away. And when that happened, I followed my passion in the moment. I never thought that I was going to leave teaching. My passion was, I was interested in hearing about what the heavenly realm was about. So my first small step was to start reading books about near-death experiences. That was one of the things that I did. And then I started to go to meditations, crystal bowl meditations, attend workshops. And then from there, because of my passion of wanting to learn more about the spirit realm and more about connecting with past loved ones, that's where all of a sudden I got so far in the journey where I'm like, I look back and I'm like, how did I get here? It's almost like you're on autopilot. You don't know how you got there. And then from there, that's when I started to give the readings. In my mind, I thought I was just going to find my passion and learning how to connect with past loved ones because that was what I wanted. But what I realized was later, I wanted to connect with other people's past loved ones. But I wouldn't have thought that that would end up that way. I never would have thought that I wouldn't have retired as a teacher. So I think that's important, to start with those baby steps.
It's so important to start with those baby steps. So just to give you another few baby steps to take right now, this is one of the most valuable processes that I've done in my life or that I've done in my client's life, and it's called the energy audit. So I want you to think about all of the things in your life that energize you, the people, the places, the environments. And then I also want you to think about all of the drainers in your life, the people, the places, the habits that you have. And I want you to create a list of both the energizers and the drainers. And what's going to happen is, as you start to slowly eliminate the drainers or figure out a way to turn the drainers in your life into energizers. For example, so say, I hear a lot of people say, oh, social media is a drainer in my life. And I'm like, oh, really? Why? Because it's an energizer in my life. And then I start to ask them questions and I figure out that they're using it in a negative way. They're scrolling through their news feed. They're taking in information that triggers them every single day. So to figure out how to turn that into an energizer and make it to where it's not a drainer anymore, a couple of times with my clients and with myself, we realize, quit going on the news feed. Only search people and search groups that energize you and use it in an energizing way. So I want you to think about that in your life, because what happens is, as you start to add more energizers into your life, you'll start to feel less and less lost, and you'll start to feel more pulled to your destination or to that vision or to that purpose that you feel inside of yourself.
It's so true. And I really believe that once you're indecisive about one topic or feeling lost about one topic and kind of get into that energetic vortex of being sucked into thinking too much, you're out of flow. And I read the book, The Surrender Experiment. This is a huge book. If you're feeling stuck or feeling like you're trying to push things together, read that book. I wasn't reading it because I was stuck. I just felt pulled to read the book. But this book is amazing, and it's something to really get into. And it really talks about letting go and allowing things to unfold. But I think it does come back to not pushing and pulling and trying to force things to happen. But when you choose, once you choose one thing in your life and you're choosing to surround yourself around certain people, to start your morning off a certain way, and I feel like you're good at that, Tony, very good at starting the morning, and this is what Tony taught me. To start the morning off a little bit different, you're going to notice everything in your life shift around. And we spoke about this a couple podcasts ago about morning routine, but we can bring it up again because I feel like that's a start in the ripple effect of it.
It's one of the most valuable things that could ripple into your life. Yeah. So I want you to ask yourself this question before we get off here. What is the next step? What is my next step? And maybe it's to start a new morning routine. Maybe it's to design a new routine for you that can start your morning off, start every day off on a positive note. So what is my next step?
The other question that I want you to think about too is, instead of keeping this all in your head, write it down. This is a theme actually the past couple of weeks where clients have been calling for intuitive readings, and they're feeling lost, but they have in their mind what they want to do, but they're afraid it's the wrong choice. You can never choose wrong. Follow the passions and the breadcrumbs at the beginning. But one thing that you should be doing is writing things down. So, for example, if you feel very drawn to refinishing furniture and selling it, and you're like, oh, I don't have the business card, I don't have the logo name, I don't have these things, start by going on Pinterest, doing some research of the type of paint that you want to use that's good for the refurnishing of the furniture. Start searching on Facebook Marketplace, purchase a piece of furniture, paint it. It's like these small little steps will get you there. It reminds me of my mom's cookbook that she just created. She created a cookbook for the family. She started years ago typing the recipes up on Microsoft Word for us as a family, and she printed out some of them before, and then she decided she wanted to make it in like a nice organized little binded book, and then from there other people were interested. If you told her 5 years ago that she would be selling a cookbook to people, the public, she'd say, oh, I don't know how to do that, and it would be overwhelming. But because she's taken baby steps and just followed the passion, it led to something that she wasn't even sure about.
And something that's in her wheelhouse. And if you don't have that cookbook yet, you really need it, because
I know, it's so
her
good.
mom is an Italian who really loves to cook, and I really love to eat her food. So that makes me think about another point, because your mom was just doing. That's so much in her wheelhouse. So are you somebody who wants to be published more than you want to be a writer? If you are, think about that. I want you to think about that, because if you really want to publish a book, start writing now. And if that's in your wheelhouse, if that's something that you really love doing, just start writing like my mother-in-law Debbie did.
If you want to go to Italy, go on Pinterest, start finding bloggers' websites and figure out the best places to go. Get excited. You're going to get closer to the intention of what you want, but you have to start small. So share with us in the comments anything that you've been wanting to do, not figure out how to get to the end result, but figuring out right now the passion that's going to lead you in those baby steps. Share with us in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. If you liked it, leave a 5-star review on iTunes, and remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel too.
If you can think of anyone else that would love this episode, share it with them right now on social media or email. And remember, getting results is a process of learning, applying, and reflecting. Stay consistent and continue to grow every day.